What's going on, everybody? TheKennyDubz here with another Mega Man X Die PvP tier list video. It is the end of the month of August, and the last time I did a tier list was towards the middle of June, I believe, around June 19th. So I figured it would be a good time to update the tier list since a few new characters have come out. So before we get into the video, I just want to say something, just a quick little tidbit here. I get a lot of questions about why certain characters are on the aren't on the list. And it's really interesting when people leave those comments and ask those questions, because it just shows that they didn't watch or listen to anything I said in the video, because the character they ask about is usually somewhere on the list. But I also mentioned that even if you don't want to watch a video, in the video description I have a Google Doc, which I still need to finish updating, but there is a screenshot of everything I've put on the list, so you can go there and see it for yourself. Or you could even just skip to the end of the video, to be quite honest. It just shows and it kind of just shows how how little interest people have in actually finding and attempting to find out the information that they're asking about, because there are multiple ways within the video. Like I say it, it's on screen, and hey, like I said, you could just skip to the end of the video. But just wanted to make note of that. I might not be answering those questions anymore. I usually try to answer them, but a lot of them I was just like, well, you don't even have to necessarily watch a video. I appreciate if people actually watch the video, so if you have a legitimate question about why character X is in S rank, or what rank, why character's in a certain rank, I can answer the question. But again, I will have a link to a Google Doc, which I'm going to keep updated for my reasonings of where characters are, and just like I said, a picture of the tier list, just so that in the off chance people just want to control F at some point, or like maybe you watch the video but then like you want to go back later and figure out you don't want to hear my reasoning again, but whatever. Any case, in the description there's also other ways to figure out the information I get frequently asked about it. Next, I made a bit of a mistake. So some characters got their DNA released since the last update, but I don't remember exactly which characters got their DNA up till this point, and I can't check in game because what I thought was going to happen was they were going to keep the notice board kind of updated so I can go back and see previous updates, but they didn't do that. So I don't think it makes too big a difference for a lot of the units, but some units get substantial DNA changes, which makes them a lot better. I think I know those units. Other than that, some units might just be kind of like, I might just kind of just put them places where I, even with their DNA I would put them, or without the DNA I would put them. Anyway, let's get into this tier list here. So for we'll scroll down here because again, I put the characters that aren't released in the not released section here, just so it's easier for me to have everything here. First up, we have Swimsuit Iris. She was released somewhat recently, and I like Swimsuit Iris. She also got her DNA as well, and she also got a ghost buff, which isn't reflected in her skills at all. Her skill, which grants her a shield, you don't need to hit a target in crit enhancement status anymore. It's when you start the stage, and then every 20 seconds. That's how you get her shield now. So it's infinitely better than it was before. And her DNA also allows her to reset the cooldown for once every 10 seconds. So I just wanted to point that out there because I found that out recently, that her third passive is wrong because of that. And Iris, I like Swimsuit Iris. She's not like a get in there and like low TTK unit, just run rampant kind of thing, right? But what she does have, she has a better utility. She has a shield, she has damage mitigation inherently, and she has more of a, maybe not still a utility, but like more of it, like a kind of a more niche build you can do to prevent you from getting one tapped by like all the relevant threats around you. Like I said, the shield, the damage mitigation, you can kind of like keep away with her. So I think I'm gonna put her low B, high C. I think is where I actually want to put Swimsuit Iris. Put her like right there. I think there it's fine. Next up we have Iris Another, and Iris Another is another unit that I like. I think Iris Another is a pretty solid unit overall too. It's more so with Iris Another that I think other units you can get more value more easily out of. But like I said, I don't think she's bad. She has iframes, she has counterattacks. I believe she has some mitigation in her kit as well. Yeah, Iris, she has mitigation and healing in her kit. So I think I want to put her maybe low A tier for her. Yeah, I think I want to do that. Speaking of low A tier, I think I'm gonna move Awaken Zero up as well. He did get his DNA, and his DNA makes him a lot better, but I don't think it's good enough to significantly boost his placements. Because with his DNA, he can pierce iframes. He can almost spam Genmu Zero, but he's still like a glass cannon kind of unit, right? He has no iframes. He has no inherent mitigation. I think he might have inherent mitigation when he's holding a sword, actually. But yeah, he's still glass cannony. So I will move him up to maybe around here, low A tier for Awaken Zero. I think that's fine. Like I said, he's a lot better with his DNA, but I don't think his DNA is enough to have him, you know, jump up a whole lot of places that can make him just suddenly extremely viable versus other units. He's still viable, but he's not like he's broken or something with his DNA. Next up is Dynamo. Dynamo is a very interesting unit. Dynamo gets benefits when equipping Buster and melee type weapons. He gets enhanced damage via his passives. He also has damage mitigation and damage amplification with his stuff. I think I would put him probably in B tier, because outside of his mitigation and his damage amp, he doesn't really have much else going on. I don't think he has any kind of utility. There's also, with Dynamo, I don't know if it's just me, but when I've been playing him in the Taiwan version, I seem to whiff one of his attacks a lot, and I don't know if it just doesn't like properly lock on to the target or something, or maybe I'm just bad with using it, but it seems like it doesn't work the way I want it to most of the time when I try to use it. So I'm gonna put Dynamo in like mid B tier, I guess, like somewhere over here. He doesn't really have much utility. He has a card in the Taiwan version. He has his DNA in the Taiwan version as well, but he doesn't have that here. So I'm gonna put him right over here. I do think he can probably like scooch up a little bit, maybe like right there. It's like I said, I don't have these entirely organized anyway, in where I would actually rank all the units. So just put them like approximately where I think they would be. But yeah, there's that. Next up, Dive Armor X, and oh boy, Dive Armor X. He is a fantastic unit. I like him a lot. He has so much going on for him, which is insane. And he doesn't have his DNA yet, but even without his DNA, he is a very, very, very good unit. I think I just want to plop him right in the S rank just because he has so much versatility. He has range. He has stuns. Stun might be because of his DNA. But he has damage mitigate. That might be, I think that's in his DNA as well. He has damage amplification. He has healing, a lot of healing. He has preventative shield. He has his shield can also inflict damage as well. He has buster amplification as per usual per X. He's just an all-around great unit. I think I'm gonna plop him right in S rank up here. Let's go up here. I think he's better than UAX. Do I think he's better than UAX? I might have to change some of this stuff around as well, because as more and more units come out, things are definitely going to change a lot more. Like, I still think Third Armor X is pretty solid, but I'm not entirely too sold on Third Armor X anymore. Same with UAX. I think UAX still has fantastic burst damage. but it is really, really hard to make use of his iframes. For now, I'll leave most of those intact, though. Copy X got DNA as well. I believe Third Armor X and Copy X both got DNA. Copy X got a little bit better because of his healing factor. Can now be activated once every 60 seconds rather than once a stage. So that is fantastic. He also gets a bit more damage amp with his stacks of Savior status. So I think I would definitely move Copy X up a little bit, maybe to like mid B rank or mid S rank. Not too much though. Right there. Swimsuit Tron and Swimsuit Furham are next up. I like them both. The issue is with the both of them, even though I think they're very, very solid units and very suited for PvP, they don't have any inherent damage amplification or damage mitigation in their kit outside of their randomized DNA, which is not active or which is not available yet on global. They do have very nice things as well. Like Swimsuit Tron has jumped attack, which can inflict skill seal, and the skill seal through that, I believe, kind of in like works its way around skill seal, the skill seal reduction skill. The immunity skill to it. I forgot what the exact wording is. I apologize. It is like 4 in the morning at the time I'm recording this, and I think I'll just put both of them like somewhere in B rank, to be honest. Look right there. I think they're both solid units. Neither one of them has any damage amp, but they do have things that they offer, which I think are you can get value out of. It's just a little bit harder to get value out of these guys than it would to be, say, you know, like Dive Armor X, because you can just get a lot more value out of Dive Armor X or even Proto Man. Swimsuit Furham also has some interesting things as well. She can inflict slow, which is worded weirdly on her kit for whatever reason. I'm not sure why it's worded so weirdly. But then you can also like drag enemies towards you with her skills, and she has invisible traps as well, so she can set up a trap. The enemy has no idea where it is because they can't see it, because that's what invisible means, like you just can't see it, and that is very, very nice. Swimsuit Palette. Swimsuit Palette is actually not out at the time of recording this, but she will be out within like a day, so I'm throwing her in here as well. Now, Swimsuit Palette, I talked about this in my character preview video. Swimsuit Palette has some passives, and I'm like, oh wow, that's, you know, that's good for PvP, so maybe your PvP unit. And then she has, I'm sorry, for PvE in her passive. Then she has like some modifier chips. I'm like, these are only useful in PvP, really. So I'm just like, I'm not really sure what I want to do with her, or how I feel about her in general. I think she's okay. I think I could put her in like mid B rank as well. She has some versatility with what she can do in terms of her modifier chips for her skill 2. She can either inflict blind, she can inflict slow or skill seal, I think are the 3. Oh no, so she can either inflict blind or damage in like attack crush is what I refer to it as, but it's just like the attack mitigation status. I forgot what it's called directly in game. I think like attack crush, attack break, you know, whichever one of those you wanna call it, weaken attack status. I think that's what it's called actually. And she can inflict out of control as well. She also has inherent healing, which I think is good. Her skill 1 is disgusting with her modifier chip number 3, so she has very, very good burst damage with that. Her skill 2 doesn't do much damage, but like I said, she has healing. She has damage amplification and mitigation, specifically with guns or machine gun and sprayer. Sprayer is real good. Machine guns are kind of eh. But I think Swimsuit Palette is a solid choice that you can make use of for PvP, especially with her burst. Like her skill 1 burst damage is comparable with that of Proto Man if you use her 3rd modifier chip. That's how strong her skill 1 modifier chip is. I think Proto Man eclipses it by a little bit, But it's not that much of a difference between like the modifiers, because I think swimsuit palettes is like 217 to 18 or something like that, and her modifier chip gives her you know, at three pellets, while the same thing for Proto Man, but I think Proto Man is like 225, 226 ish, somewhere in that area. So it's not that much of a difference between like the max damage that they can do with that skill. Now the difference though is that Proto Man can follow up better than Swimsuit Palette can. Though you can make the argument that Swimsuit Palette can set hers up a little bit. No, you can't make that argument. Never mind. I was going to say you can make the argument that Swimsuit Palette can set hers up better. But what Swimsuit Palette can do that's different from Proto Man is that she can obliterate the opposition so that it's a little bit easier for her to deal with them and eliminate them afterwards. So maybe I should actually put her a little bit higher than mid B tier than that. But I think mid B is fine. If her amp was like, maybe didn't include machine guns and was like 20% for sprayer, maybe that'd be a lot better, because you can get away with you obviously would just do more damage. You'd be 20% instead of 10%. So it's still very solid passive, but without her DNA it's 10% not 15%, so I'm just gonna leave her there for now. And finally there's Rico. I say finally, but you can clearly see there's more units here, but again, things that are released in global, and this is where we're up to. Technically I put them in the wrong order, because Rico came before the swimsuit units, but that's just like a really minor thing. I wanted to have them in order, but it's not that big of a deal. Rico is a very interesting unit. Now her kit, even though I like it, is based on RNG, which I don't like. I like her kit in general, but I don't like how it's based on RNG. But she has a lot of utility in her kit. Her skill 1 can pull either Iris's Peaceful Wish, Awaken Zero's Genmu Zero. Wow, I forgot his name. I knew it was Genmu Zero, but I couldn't remember I couldn't remember the name. Or she can pull UAX's Plasma Shot, and all of them have, you know, like their typical effects on them. The Genmu Zero can, you know, hit twice. Iris's Peaceful Wish stuns, and the Plasma Shot slows, I believe. But it shoots them out for multiple times. I don't remember the times for each one. It varies depending on which thing you pull, but again, the thing you pull is RNG. With that, and she has data analysis as her second skill, which I think is very, very nice. It puts up a giant force field that can do dot damage and absorb energy from the targets. The absorbing energy is part of her mechanic for her meter. It don't actually absorb their HP. She has some nice passives with her as well that reduce damage, removes buffs from the opposition. I think she has damage and damage mitigation as well, though those might be from her DNA. But I think I'm gonna put her in either high A, low S rank. Even though her kit is a bit RNG heavy with her skill 1, all the effects are really, really good. I think the worst one would probably be Genmu Zero, and even then that's not bad to get. No, Iris's Peaceful Wish would actually probably technically be the worst one, because there's no range on that one outside of like well, it's not that no range, but that's the one that has the least amount of range to it. But obviously it's going to depend on if you need the stun there or not. And you could also just spam skill 1. Like, I think you get 3 windows. You can just boom, 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 and you can just get the 3 different effects. You can also get 3 of the same effect. So someone could be staring down a bunch of Genmu Zeros, a bunch of UAX charge plasma shots, Or maybe you just get Peaceful Wish and then you stun lock them and then you just eliminate them because they cannot get out of the immobilize because you pulled 3 Peaceful Wishes. And that actually sounds terrible. I hope that doesn't happen to anyone, but it's definitely happening to someone. Yeah, I think Rico, low S high A. I think that's okay for Rico. I like is that I would be a little bit higher on her. The only reason I'm kind of lukewarm is just because I don't like the RNG associated with her. I think it'd be better to have maybe like a modifier chip switch which ones you get, but you know, it works fine for what it is. And I think that is just about it for yeah, that's it for the newer units. That's for the units that got DNA, like hey, Classic Mega Man got his DNA. Seal got her DNA, but she's not very good for PvP. Like I said, like a lot of these other units, I don't think it'll change where they are too much. Proto Man's DNA is actually surprisingly solid. I don't remember if he got his DNA though. I don't think he was one of the ones that got. I think no, maybe he did. I think he did. Yeah, Proto Man did get his DNA. I'd probably just move him up to a higher C rank, to be honest though. I do think you'd be able to do some real damage with Proto Man, but it would take a lot more effort on the player's behalf to execute that kind of thing. I know White Axel got DNA, but I don't remember what his DNA does. But yeah, for now, I think this is where I will leave everything. Like I said at the start of the video, there will be a Google Doc in the description so that people can look at that. If you want to just Control F things, I still need to finish updating it for like the logic for why everything's in each tier. Just because I don't go over why each thing is in its tier in each video. But those are, you know, those are the new additions. There weren't really many new ones, which is why I try to have a little bit more time in between these. But I think, like I said, I think I said I wanted to have this on like maybe like an every other month kind of basis. Like I think just so I don't get too far behind again. I'm gonna also try to keep a note of which characters get their DNA and when, so that I can more accurately update this, because I thought it was going to be in game for me to view whenever I wanted, but trying to figure out which characters have their DNA now that didn't have their DNA from the last time I updated this list is definitely very hard to do. So I'm just gonna have to like have like a word pad and just make a note of when characters get their DNA. Oh, Omega got his DNA. I didn't talk about that, I don't think. I think I talked about Awaken Zero and not Omega. Copy X. Omega's DNA is actually very, very good. Again, he's a unit that I don't think makes him like too outstanding with his DNA, but his DNA is very, very good. Though I already have him in A rank, like mid to high A rank. I think I would definitely put him in high A rank after his DNA is released, just because Omega's like entire like gimmick kind of thing is having targets be immobilized, and with his DNA, it just ignores Preventative Shield. So that is huge for a character like Omega, because like I said, that is like what you want to do with Omega. So him getting his DNA is extremely relevant for him. All right, like, I just forgot about it. Like as I was looking at the list, I remembered it. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I don't want this to go on for too much longer, because there wasn't much for me to talk about this list. Those are my thoughts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Help the channel, helps me grow, shows me you're enjoying the content. Just leave your thoughts down below about the changes that I have made. I will obviously need to make more changes, because I'm going to try and figure out which characters got DNA when. But for now, this is where it stands. As per usual, I'm gonna give a shout out to my YouTube channel members and my patrons. for continuing to support me, allowing me to do what I do. If you'd like to find out how to support me on Patreon or become a YouTube channel member, you can find out in the video description down below. And I will see you guys next time. Later.